Hey everyone, it's JoJo and I'm here to do a storytime video. Another storytime girl. I have my Toy Story shirt on tonight. I just like it's comfortable. I'm gonna put on some cream. This one's going to be something that happened to me that I was probably the most scared I've ever been in my entire life. I really thought I was going to die. I thought it was just a very scary situation, and I thought that I was gonna see another day. Like, it was that scary. Prior to this, I've never been to the hospital before, never had surgery, never had anything except for wisdom teeth, but that really wasn't surgery. That was the dentist, and I wasn't even put under for that. Other than that, I've never had surgery, prior to this, never been really in a hospital before. I don't think I've ever been in a hospital before prior to this situation. Once, but I was very little, I can't even remember it. That's a whole other story. I got like a pen stuck in my throat. Oh my god, that's another story. That one happened on Halloween night. That was scary. Happened when I was like 4 or 5 years old. I was the Batman Returns movie just came out. I'll just tell you the story. This is a quick little story. Batman Returns just came out. I was 4 or 5 years old, and I was Batman. My sister was Catwoman, and I don't remember much of this night because I was so young, and I think I tried to block it out of my memory. But my dad videotaped me before the incident happened because it was Halloween, so he wanted to tape us, playing around in the living room with our costumes on, whatever, after trick-or-treating. And then he shut the camera off, and then the incident happened. So I don't remember anything past this point. I don't even remember this. But this is what was told to me years later. So I tripped down the stairs. I had like a pencil, like a Halloween pencil or something in my hand, and I tripped down the stairs and I accidentally jammed the pencil down my throat, and it stabbed me in the throat. And I had to get surgery to remove it. And I'm assuming there's a hole or something, like some kind of mark there that's always going to be there in my throat, but no one can see it, obviously. But I don't remember this. I don't remember it because it was so long ago, but I'm having tea, by the way. Always have my tea. So that story is done. Now we're going to get to the actual story I want to talk about. This happened in fall of 2015, so I was 24 years old. This happened at the very end of September. I had just celebrated my grandma's 80th birthday, the grandmother that died in 2020. Well, I celebrated her 80th birthday just 2 nights before this incident happened. So we went out to a restaurant, a Chinese buffet or something in Staten Island. Then I came home, and I was feeling fine. I was feeling absolutely fine. There was nothing wrong. The next day I was fine. Then Monday morning happened. I woke up, and I think I was supposed to go to school that day. And I woke up. My dad was getting ready for work. Whatever. I woke up with the most pain I've ever felt in my life in my stomach. At first I thought it was just another attack. I thought it was some kind of stomach problem. I always had my stomach problems. But this one felt different. It didn't feel like my stomach, like, it wasn't like when my stomach was upset. It seemed like there was something stabbing me in the stomach, like something way more crazy, something way more horrible going on. So I tried sitting on the toilet to try to like release it, but there was nothing to release. It wasn't like I wasn't having an attack, but I didn't know that at the time. So I ran downstairs. It was early in the morning. I ran downstairs and I told my dad, I said, something's wrong. I couldn't even get the words out because I was holding my stomach like this, and I was like, ugh. Like, I was like, it was so bad. And I couldn't get the words out, and I was just like, yeah, my stomach, I'm not feeling good. Something's wrong with my stomach. And he was like, well, I have to go to work. I said, no, this is the worst pain. I can't even move. Like, I can't even take my hand away from my stomach. It's just like, the pain was unbearable. It was completely unbearable. I can't even explain what the pain was. It was a 1 to a million, it would be a million. It was the worst pain. I knew something was terribly wrong. I just didn't know what it was. My dad went to work. My grandpa the one that just died in February, he picked me up and he drove me to the clinic, the hospital, not the hospital, the walk-in clinic, and they gave me an X-ray. So long story short, they gave me an X-ray and they saw that I had an inflamed appendix, and they actually called me up. I think they sent the X-ray to the hospital, and the doctor called me up, and I picked up, and he told me this over the phone. He's like, your appendix is inflamed. You need to come to this hospital right now. Come to the hospital right now. It's inflamed. If you don't go to the hospital, you can die. He told me that you can die. You need to come to the hospital ASAP so we can remove the inflamed appendix. You need I can't say it. Appendectomy. I can't say it, guys, but you can look it up. It's the surgery for the removal of the appendix. So I called up my grandma, the one that I celebrated the birthday a few days before that, and I was just like, Grandma, I was crying in the middle of the street. I was like crying on the street. Seriously, I was crying. I was hysterical. I think at that point my grandpa left. My dad came from work to pick, because at this point it was an emergency, so he had to leave work. So So then I'm hysterical in the streets, crying. I look like a crazy person, hysterically crying. I thought I was gonna die. I mean, he said I could die at this point. But the worst nightmare happened when I went to the hospital. Because when I went to the hospital, they have us waiting in a room, in a big white room, and there's a bunch of different people laying on hospital beds, and they're just waiting to be called. And it's just this huge room. It was a nice hospital, but it was a huge room. We were like in this huge white room. And I had my hospital gown on, and I was just like in hysteria. I was like, oh my God, like it was so late at this point. I was like, I don't, like, what's gonna happen? Like they said it's an emergency, but I've been waiting here for 3 hours now. And I'm guessing like there was way more surgeries, because it was last minute. This wasn't like a planned surgery. So this is a big surgery, and this wasn't planned. So we have to wait. And I waited. They said not to eat or drink anything. So I didn't eat or drink anything, and I was hooked up to, that was the worst part, being hooked up to the IV. The needle was in your arm. There was one point where I moved the wrong way and blood was coming out and it was going through the tube. It was just so frightening. I was like in such an hysteria. It was the worst. This was the worst. It really was the worst. I swear to God, this was the worst. I'm smelling ice lemon pound cake because I'm melting the candle right now, the candle warmer. It smells so good. So, I think it was about 9:30 at night, or 10 o'clock at night now. We got there at like, I think 6 o'clock. Now it's like 10:30. They wheeled me into the, because I couldn't walk. So they had to wheel me into the room before we got into the operation table, and basically this really hot guy, I couldn't even pay attention to my appendix anymore because he was just so hot. But he was just asking me the simple questions, right? Like, have you been to surgery before? I said no. You're young, you're only 24, so that's good, he said to me, and whatever. So we're about to wheel in, and we wheeled in, and I laid down, and the woman was like, count to 10, and I didn't even get to 7. And that's all I remember, until I woke up an hour later and I was back in the room. And basically they cut open my stomach, they removed my appendix. I had a huge gash in my stomach. It wasn't over yet though, because more shit was about to happen to me. So they're not supposed to give you anything to drink or eat after your surgery. So they fucked up with this. They gave me apple juice, they were feeding me water, giving me all that. So I was drinking it up. Well, first of all, I had to really drink anyways because my mouth was dry. I think they had a tube in my throat. So I guess I had to drink something, but it still wasn't I shouldn't have drank anything. Anyway, so I got wheeled into a room, and there was a curtain there. And at this point, my dad left, and I was by myself in a room, and then there was a curtain, and behind the curtain there was this man. And I laid down. And because they keep checking, you really can't get rest because they keep coming and checking your blood, this, and the other thing. So again, mind you, I'm still hooked up to the IV, so I can't move anywhere without taking this pole with the IV attached to it with me. I can't go anywhere. I can't go to the bathroom. Can't go anywhere. Right. So I had to pee. So I got up to go pee, and I couldn't pee. The pee wouldn't come out. And I said, "What is going on here?" So at this point, my body was a little weak. Of course, I was like just kind of surgery. I was sluggish, whatever. And mind you, I only had 2 hours of sleep the night before because I went to bed really late the night before and I woke up really early with the stomach problem. So hours went by. God, it was like 2, 3 o'clock in the morning now, and I really had to pee. Like the pain, it was worse than even the appendix. That was gone now, right? It was still sore because of just surgery. I had a cut there, it was a wound, whatever it was. But the pain wasn't that bad anymore. The appendix, the pain in my bladder was a whole other level. I had to pee so bad, but nothing was coming out. My body was still asleep. After surgery, your body's still asleep. After you get put out, your body's still asleep. It needs time to wake up, so you can't pee, you can't shake, you can't do anything. So I didn't know that. So I was like crawling to the woman, and I said, "Please, anything, make me pee. I don't know how to pee. I can't pee. I don't know what's going on." She goes, "Well, how long has this been? It's been hours now. I can't pee. I can't pee. Nothing's coming out, but I feel it. I know I have to pee." And she's like, "Okay, your body's still asleep. Your body's still asleep. You're just sorry. We can do something for you." Okay, so now this is gonna sound graphic. Shut the camera off. I'll pause the camera if you don't. I'm gonna try to say this in a way where it's not that vulgar. I'm gonna say it this way. This is the best way I can say it. Okay. So the nurse said, "Listen, we can take a tube and we can inject it in your private part, and you can pee through the tube." And I said, "Oh my God," I got so frightened, right? So then I was okay. So I laid down. The woman, like, put ointment on my private part, and then she injected like this tube in it, but like it was so much pain. Oh my God. The worst pain I had this whole day. It was unbelievable. It was nonstop pain, pain, pain. I felt like I was literally gonna just drop dead. It was like, just kill me now, kill me. At this point, I just wanted to die. Just kill me now. And I just said, "Just take the tube out. Just take it out. It's not working. Please just take it out. I can't take it anymore." So she took it out. But as I was, oh my God, this part was actually, so the tube was in me, right? And when she was trying to, I guess, take the pee out, I don't even know how to call it. The man was really upset with me. The man that I was in the same room with, he was screaming. He was like, "Shut that fucking noisy bitch up. I'm trying to sleep. Shut her the fuck up." I guess he thought I was a woman because I was screaming like a fucking girl. And he was like, "Shut that bitch up. Shut that fucking bitch up. I'm trying to sleep here. I can't get no rest. She's so fucking loud. She's screaming bloody murder." It was horrible. It was horrible. So anyway, she took the thing out of my private part. I'm like in a state of shock because I still have to pee and I can't pee. Now it's like 6, 7 o'clock in the morning. Then they're feeding you breakfast, and I'm not hungry, but what they feed you is just garbage anyway, so I wouldn't have eaten it anyways. Still haven't peed. Then I want to say it was 8 o'clock in the morning. I had to stay the night out. It's like the whole night. So it was 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock in the morning, around there. And I went to the bathroom. And at first they said, "You have to pee in this bottle. Make sure you pee in a bottle because we need to test your urine or something," they said. So I peed a little bit came out in this little, in the thing, Just a very little came out. And I was like, okay, a little bit. But it was a little relief, but I had to pee so bad. I probably had gallons of pee in me that I need to release. So finally, little by little, I was peeing, little by little. And finally, I guess I relieved myself fully. Then it was like 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, whatever. And my dad came, picked me up. And I had to get wheeled. I couldn't walk, I couldn't move. I had to get wheeled into the car, and then I had to I drove to home, and then I had very bad, I didn't get sleep the whole night because I had the appendix, and then I couldn't pee, so me having to pee so bad all night kept me up all night. So I got home around like 3 o'clock in the afternoon, whatever, and I couldn't even go to sleep because I had such a bad panic attack. I had anxiety. I had the worst because I just been through hell. I've been through hell and back, and finally it was like 6 o'clock, and I laid down, I calmed down, and I tried to get back to sleep. But again, I can't really lay, and I couldn't lay on the side of I had to lay on my back. And again, I'm still a little in pain in my stomach. Like I just had surgery, so then I want to say I did sleep. I woke up the next morning, and then trying to think. And then I went to take a shower, and I can't move. I can barely walk. I can't walk. So I had to crawl up and down the stairs, crawl into the shower, out of the shower. And that's the way I lived for like over a week, maybe 2 weeks. And I got the stitches out a week after. The stitches were like, it was like this like glue thing, and it was like hardened, and they removed the stitch. And I had a scar there for a while, and then eventually the scar did disappear. There's still a little something there on like my button, like my button, my what's it called, belly button. A little something there, but it's not as prominent as it was years ago. And yeah, it was rough because I couldn't walk, I couldn't really move. I didn't go to school for a good 2 weeks, and I missed a lot of classes. But that was a nightmare. I couldn't believe it. I could not believe it, how horrible that was. It was like nonstop craziness. But I healed up and I was better, thank God. I mean, my appendix was removed. I don't have an appendix anymore, but you don't need an appendix. There's no point to the appendix. It's kind of like your tonsils. You don't need it. But when it's there and you need it removed, it's horrendous pain. And it happens out of nowhere. There wasn't like anything happened that made it not. It just happens out of nowhere. You have no control over it. It just happens out of nowhere. It can happen to you any day, any time. If you still have your appendix in you, it is what it is. If it gets inflamed, it gets inflamed. It is what it is. There's no rhyme or reason for it. It just happens. So yeah, that is the story time. Let me know if you've had any horror stories at a hospital, if you had any situations where you had surgery and shit happened to you and you needed to get surgery, and yet, you know, hospitals are not pleasant. It's not pleasant. The food's not pleasant. The smells aren't pleasant. The people aren't pleasant. Like it's not pleasant. It's just a horrible experience, and I hope I never have to do anything like that again. But I mean, I've been to the hospital a couple of other times after that. I guess I can tell you that in another video. But yeah. So I hope you guys enjoyed, and yeah, I love you guys so much, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye, guys.